Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. My name is Asiyah Kassim. I will be presenting our paper with the title Behavioral Intention and the Influence of Demographic Factors in Purchasing Environmentally Sustainable Products Among Residents in Petaling. This presentation consists of introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion. Let's move on to the introduction. Sustainable consumption is one of the main drivers for sustainable development. Now, despite the introductions of the National Sustainable Consumptions and Production Blueprint 2016 to 2030 by the government to cultivate green growth through consumptions and production activities, extensive research that explored on the determinants of purchasing behavioral intentions of consumers on eco-friendly products in Malaysia are still lacking. In fact, if you look at the current development scenario of the consumptions in Malaysia, Malaysia has recorded the highest annual per capita plastic consumption compared to China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam at 16.78 kilos per person. Then Malaysia ranks second in total plastic waste generation among the other Asian countries, and a total of 3,108.9 thousand tons of solid waste was produced in 2019. Okay, so what motivates this study? Now, previous studies concluded that consumer behaviors towards environmentally sustainable products came mostly from the Western context. Due to limited literature on green purchasing behavioral intentions in the context of Malaysia, this study was established to provide a broader view on the topic. And with regards to the theory of blend behavior, TPB, it is one of the most common models in the field of consumer behavior. Therefore, the research considers critical components of this TPB, which are attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control, and measure these in the sense of purchasing environmentally sustainable products. However, numerous studies have also suggested several improvements on TPB theory to address its shortcomings by identifying other possible moderating factors that could affect purchasing intention, such as gender and levels of education. Thus, this study aims to determine the moderating influence of these demographic factors and ascertain the relationship of TPB with the purchasing intention of environmentally sustainable products. And Petaling Jaya Selangor is selected as the location for the study, as the district of Petaling has been designated as a city with sole reward sustainable lifestyles, which incorporated it with the green sustainability practices. The literature for this study focuses on the variables tested, which include attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control. Now, looking at the attitude is an overall assessment of personal behavior, and it holds a significant influence in customer purchasing behaviors. There are several authors which mention that in their research, which include Zhang, Fan, Zhang, and Zhang 2019, in which they claim that attitude have positive and significant relationship in purchasing intention for environmentally sustainable products for both hedonic and utilitarian green products. Whereas subjective norm, which denotes the perceived social pressure for conducting or not performing the behavior, there are various authors which mention that subjective norms have relationship in influencing purchasing intention behavior for environmentally sustainable products. For instance, Zhuang, Low, and Reyes 2021. In addition, perceived behavioral control or PBC represents the sense of fulfillment to accomplish a behavior due to resources and opportunities that they have. Zhuang et al. 2021, for instance, claimed that PBC has an influence on purchasing intention for green products, while other authors also mentioned that PBC has indeed been correlated to the decision to buy green hotels, healthy foods, as well as green goods. Moreover, in terms of gender relations, Witek and Kuzniar 2021 claim that male and female environmental attitudes differ significantly, particularly females who display a more positive attitude than males in terms of purchasing behavioral intentions for green products. Finally, on education level, authors like Shamsi and Siddiqui 2017 stated that of all demographic factors tested, only educational level significantly influences consumers' purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products. For the methodology, the research design for this study is a cross-sectional correlational with the unit of analysis of residents of Petaling district, which include Petaling Jaya City, Bukit Raja, Damansara, Petaling, and Sungai Buloh, with respondents aged 18 and above. The sample size is 390 in accordance to the formula by Krejci and Morgan, with stratified random sampling technique by Sekaran and Mugi, and the data collection, of course, the primary data using survey, whereas the data analysis for objective 1 using Pearson correlations, and for objective 2 using Hayes process. The questionnaire consists of four sections of variables from the theory of planned behavior and the five Likert scale instruments adopted from various literature as presented in Table 1. Now let's look at the profile of respondents. Out of 390 respondents, the highest number of respondents was from Petaling with 131 respondents. And in terms of gender, the study received the highest response from female with 206 respondents. In terms of age, the study obtained the highest response from 177 individuals at the range age of 18 to 28 years old. Furthermore, in terms of level of education, the highest percentage is 37.2%, or 145 respondents with bachelor's degree. And as for the employment status, this study obtained the highest number of respondents from the private sector with 161 respondents. Now let's look at result 1 on the relationship between the elements of TPB and purchasing behavioral intention. Based on the findings, there was a relationship between attitude and behavioral purchasing intention for environmentally sustainable products, and it was positively significant with R equals to 0.693. And this is consistent with a study done by Lestari, Hanifa, and Wartawan 2020, which found that attitude has a positive relationship with the purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products. In addition, it was also found that there is a relationship between subjective norm and behavioral purchasing intention, and it was positively significant with R equals to 0.493. This research finding is supported by studies done by Zhuang Lo and Riaz, Joshi and Rahman, and Hu Chan, where subjective norms have a significant positive impact on purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products. Other people's views and opinions constitute the pressure towards an individual to motivate a person's green purchasing intention because they feel that the people around them accept the behavior and they should do too. Thus, social pressure can be linked with an individual purchasing behavioral intention. Moreover, for the third TPB factor, there is also a significant positive relationship between perceived behavioral control and behavioral purchasing intention, with R equals to 0.530. So this finding is also consistent with research done by Chen and Deng and Muller et al. 2021, as well as research by Paul et al. 2016. And therefore, the result indicates that the public in the district of Petaling, Selangor will be highly willing to purchase environmentally sustainable products when they think they can control the uncontrollable external factors. And based on the strength and magnitudes of the relationship by Cohen, attitude can be seen as the largest relationship between the purchasing behavioral intention as well as the TPB factors. Let us now proceed to result number 2 on the moderating influence of gender. The findings showed that gender has moderating influence towards attitude as well as the subjective norm and the purchasing behavioral control. However, there is no influence on gender on purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products and perceived behavioral control, as the interaction value of P was more than 0.05. So these results are corresponding with a previous study done by ND et al. 2018, where PVC factors failed to demonstrate significant mean differences between male and female populations. As for result number 3 on the moderating influence of education level, based on the findings, The level of education has moderating influence on all the components of the theory of plane behavior. The results for the interactions for phi value for attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control is less than 0.05. The findings is consistent with the research done by Maichum, Parichatnon, and Peng 2016, in which education level influence an individual perception towards the intention to purchase environmentally sustainable products. There were differences in results between the education groups, which show that people with a higher level of education tend to consume environmentally sustainable products as they have higher purchasing capacity than a lower level of education group. In conclusion, the study on purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products is important to tackle the consumer purchasing trend. Employing the factors from the TPB in the study through quantitative method is relevant as the components of the theory have been proven by numerous prior research capable of producing a relationship with the behavioral purchasing intention. Based on the analysis of the findings, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control do have a significant relationship with the behavioral purchasing intention for environmentally sustainable products. In addition, gender shows mixed results as it has moderating influence on attitude and subjective norm, but not for perceived behavioral control. For education level, it has moderating effects towards all components of TPB and the purchasing behavioral intention for environmentally sustainable products. It is admitted that this study has a few limitations, which include limited variables, sampling size, and methods, and therefore it is recommended for future research that the study will be able to employ a combinations of theories to understand better the phenomena, consider other determinants such as cost, accessibility of the products, and so forth, as well as extending the locations of study to enlarge the sampling size.